All right, I want to welcome Allison DeFlumeri back to the podcast, and we have Katie Cellucci with us too. How you guys doing?
Great, how are you?
Great, Randy. Thank you so much for having us. We're so excited to be here today.
I'm glad to have you. I especially love having people that have been on the podcast once before back, kind of update us on things. There's a bunch of things going on with your business. Obviously, Katie's here, so I'm looking forward to having a good conversation. So I'm not going to jump right into things. Allison, your company is Immortalata. You can see the sign in the background. You guys were just named the best nutritionist in Biddeford for 2024 by Quality Business Awards USA. That's pretty exciting. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I was pretty shocked. I was super excited, and I'm so proud of what I've cultivated over the past 4 years in practice. I'm so proud of what Natalie's brought to the practice, and I'm so excited to talk about the new clinicians that we're bringing on to really provide the complete package for our patients to make dietary, lifestyle, behavioral health change to improve mental and physical well-being in a very natural and holistic way.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to talking all about that stuff. So, Katie, why don't we jump to you? You have a business called, is it Mangia Kitchen?
Mangia Kitchen.
God, I was like, I'm going to get this wrong. But tell me all about it.
Okay, so my name is Katie Cellucci. I am a private chef. I provide private chef services. I'm working with Immortalata to provide their clients with meals that correlate with their dietary needs and what they need to, be set up for success. A little background about me: I started cooking as far back as I can remember. Food's always really been the centerpiece of my life. I went to a vocational high school for culinary, studied there for 3 years. I went to Johnson and Wales, got my associates. I was working in professional kitchens for about 8 years, and
God bless.
Yeah, seriously.
and at the end of those 8 years, I just realized that it was too much sacrifice for too little reward. And again, just in my opinion, it wasn't sustainable. I was missing big events with, people I love and just not being present. So I really needed to pivot my life. And I had a year where I tried a million different jobs. I was doing some big catering. I was a part-time chef at a daycare. I was writing recipes for the Lose It calorie counter app. I started contracting also as a private chef. And I was like, oh, like I could do this. Like it just clicked. Like the connection between clients was amazing, and it just brought me so much joy. And I contracted for a few different companies for a few different years, and then I really needed to take control over client connection. I wanted to be at the forefront of how things were run and how I represent myself and how my food is represented. And that kind of brings us to now. And I have had Mangia open for the past 2 years, and it's the best job in the whole world.
That's awesome. All right, if you've been enjoying the podcast, I wanted to let you know that I am a residential loan officer with CMG Home Loans. If you or anyone you know is looking to buy a home or refinance, please let me know and I'd be happy to help. My contact information is in the description below. Back to the podcast. Obviously, you can tell how passionate you are about it. So, like, anytime you can have your own business that mixes things that you're passionate about, I mean, it sounds like a win-win to me. Where are you based out of?
So based out of Biddeford, meals are coming from a shared kitchen in South Portland. And then for any sort of catering, I go into people's homes and, do private events as well.
So we'll get to all that stuff. Why don't you guys tell me about the collaboration that you guys have between the two of your companies, if you don't mind?
So it really came down to this. Here at Immortalata, I develop meal plans very often to help people regress and reverse disease, to help people lose weight, to help with mental health, including anxiety and depression, hormone management, gut health. And I'm happy to design those, but I am not a chef. Like, they are designed to heal a given disease or disorder based on the nutrients, macro and micro, present in the food, right? And the biggest complaint I was receiving from my patients really wasn't about taste, but it was more about time. Like, I don't have the time as a busy mom, as a nurse, as a doctor, to go home and prep all these meals for a week to regress and reverse this disease that I really want to work on. So I kind of set my sights on finding someone who was not only passionate about health and wellness, passionate about food, but also had this incredible ability to take instruction when it came to food and like make something delicious. So I had the absolute blessing of meeting Katie. Katie takes these customized meal plans and we give her, lists of like yes food, no food, sometimes food, depending on the given disease and disorder. And sometimes she'll take my meal plans that are already pre-built and just make them more flavorful and more robust with adding in some of those botanicals, some of those seasonings, some of those flavors that are actually beneficial to a given disease or disorder. And making them, even more than I could have ever imagined. Like the first time I tasted Katie's food and it was right in line with what I was looking for. The macros were there, the micros were there. I was blown away. Like I thought I was an okay cook. And then I realized very quickly that was not the case.
You don't even comment on that on my end, but yeah.
So I think we really cultivated this foolproof plan. Like you come work with me, you do the testing, we understand what you need, we start developing diet and lifestyle changes to regress and reverse the disease. We build the diet plan, we give it to Katie. Katie packages it, puts it all together, puts it in the box. And at the end of the day, if you eat what's in the box and follow the recommendations, you're going to reach your goal.
Yep. And Katie, how about on your end of things? How has this relationship been for you with Allison?
Oh my God, it's been amazing.
But you don't have to say that.
I know, but I mean it.
You're just kind of 50-50 on it, yeah.
It's also been a blessing for me. And I mean, Allison is a wonderful person. She's wonderful to work with. I just feel so grateful that I am able to take her clients and, elevate their lives and help contribute to the journey that they're on. And, we're taking these beautiful plans she's made and infusing flavor with things that aren't going to add to the nutritional value, but are going to bring variety and freshness and different flavor profiles. So yeah, I feel so grateful to be here.
And I just want to tag in on this because this was totally unplanned, but we are both Sicilian. So a lot of these like family recipes that we share this like culture around food. We share this background. So a lot of the recipes that I've given to patients and modified to meet a given need for a nutritional disease or disorder, let's try again, to treat a given disease or disorder with nutrition, Katie's familiar with and is like, hold on, let me pump up the flavor on that. Let me enhance that in a way that is actually beneficial, because she's including those yes foods that I'm looking for to help treat the disease or disorder.
So let's talk about those ingredients. Katie, where do you get your ingredients from? Are there any local suppliers or farms or anything that you draw from?
Oh, absolutely. So as far as, meat, produce, and dairy go, like we are going as absolutely local as we possibly can. And, a few shout outs are Harbor Fish, of course, Pineland Farms, Maine Family Farms, we have Goronson Farms, Girard Farms, all of these places that we want to support our local businesses, our farms, and highlight those businesses. And also for people listening at home, if you are interested in, supporting local farms, the Portland Food Co-op is a great place to go. Rosemont is a great place to go if you just want to, kind of browse around and support those businesses, but have a little variety as well.
Awesome. Love it. How about the meals? How are they designed specifically?
Sure. So given an individual will come work with me, and let's just, for example, say that they have type 2 diabetes. There's going to be a glucose component to this. There's going to be a protein component to this. There's also going to be a fat intake component to this. And there's going to be a timing component to this in order to start regressing and reversing that disease or disorder. So we want to stick to what's called a low glycemic load diet. So I would put together this low glycemic load diet as well as kind of fill Katie in on like these are foods to limit or avoid. These are foods that are really beneficial. And these are extras. Like if you can include cinnamon and olive oil, these are going to be really beneficial to this particular case. Additionally, if a patient is working with me and we're doing food sensitivity testing, I'll give that information to Katie and say like, hey, these are their foods that they're sensitive to that we want to remove from the diet. And then depending on how the patient wants to move forward, they can build something really, really rigid with me where I'm quite literally designing right down to the hour. They can do something a little bit more flexible where they get a variety of breakfasts, variety of dinners, and variety of lunches and snacks. And then they choose one per day. And then once they've chosen kind of their meal plan with me, if they want it prepared, they have a consult call with Katie. Katie has a complete like intake, and I'll let you kind of take over here. But she has a real conversation and like gets to know my patients, which I love. She has the meal plan in hand. She has the yes foods. She has the no foods. She has the sometimes foods, and then really kind of digs in to better understand what is going to bring that patient success. If it's following the meal plan I gave them to an absolute T, if it's something that's a little bit more flexible but still has the same kind of macro recommendations, like same amount of protein, carbs, and fats. But she has this guideline that comes from my background and my master's in functional nutrition. And then she gets to know the patient and builds the plans accordingly and delivers them right to their door, which I think is really remarkable. Do you want to talk more about that process that you go through?
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely. Cool. So, I mean, it's really about client connection. That's kind of the base of my business regardless, is, making clients feel comfortable and that they can talk to me. So I take all this information that Allison has provided and I'm asking, what are things you like and don't like? What are things I should avoid? And I think to set someone up for success, you need to know what they like and what they don't like and flavors that are really comfortable for them. What is your favorite takeout cuisine, and how can we implement maybe some of those flavors so it feels familiar and comfortable and you want to eat the food? So it's really about getting to know the person and making sure it's tailored to them.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's the thing that I love that Katie does is the way that she portions meals like in accordance to what I'm looking for. How she puts it together makes it look so appetizing, makes it look so complete. I think so often when we think about like meal prep meals, you've got like chicken, rice, broccoli. Like that's what everybody kind of like goes to. No, this looks like full-blown cuisine that you would get at a restaurant, but it meets your macro and micronutrient needs.
All right, so a couple other questions. Are these meals that are designed to just like throw in a microwave or an oven, or is it like you're getting the ingredients and then the person that's getting the food has to prep them? Like, how does that part work?
So these are totally ready to go. Exactly. They're either going to be ready to heat up in the oven or ready to go in the microwave, because again, we want people really, really set up for success, and the less work we can take out of that process, the more successful the person is going to be. So they are ready to go as soon as you receive.
I agree, which like speaks to me, like me thinking about this, like if I just got a bunch of ingredients, kind of, there's a company that does that where they send you the ingredients and you have to like make the food. It's like, I don't know that I personally have interest in that. So it's nice to know that things are like very turnkey. Get it, oven, microwave, done. I've done things like this in the past where it's almost like they'd mass produce the same meal, and you would go once a week and grab it out of a kitchen or refrigerator someplace. Obviously, you deliver these things to the people, but they are really custom to the people. It's like, it's not like you're doing one thing on the menu all week and that's what everyone's getting. It's like every single person gets something that's tailored to them.
No, this is it meets all of the morals, if you will, of Immortalata, where nothing is cookie cutter, everything is tailored. It's designed for your unique body, your unique goals, your unique needs. So I think it's a really different approach on this quote unquote like meal prep idea. Instead of marketing it to the masses, we're marketing it to the individual, because your body and my body and her body have all been through different things and have different nutrient requirements and have different tastes, and we're catering to each individual.
Pivoting a little bit, Katie, I've heard Mangia Kitchen is very involved in the community. I'm getting a thumbs up here somehow. I don't know if you see that on your screen. I have no idea where that's coming from, but you're very involved in the community. Are there any specific ways that you've been able to give back or connect with people in the community?
I love to donate services whenever I can, whether that's meals or that is maybe cooking classes, for different people. I also love to support, local residents going through hard times, or they're in a different place in their life. Let's say, a new mom's dropping off some free meals to a new mother, or someone who has, had a loss. I love to support people through food, because I find that it is the most comforting and most communal thing that you can do for an individual. And I think that Allison has some really exciting community stuff coming up as well.
So every year, Immortalata around November does a food drive for the Biddeford Food Pantry. And the past 3 years, we've been able to collect over 250 pounds of food every year. So if you're interested in donating to that, donation bins will be in the waiting room of Immortalata. Again, we're located at 17 Lincoln Street in the lower level of the Lincoln. If you're interested in donating, those bins will be out and ready November 1st.
Nice. I can't believe we're already talking about November. It's like,
right? Like my brain's already on Thanksgiving.
the year's flying by. Someone tried to tell me that Christmas was 3 months from today. And I was like, what? So I'm still all that stuff. But yeah, so anyways, I'm glad you mentioned that. We'll be sure to promote that as well. It's obviously a great thing that you're doing. So thank you for mentioning it. As far as Mangia Kitchen, Katie, where do you see that going in the next few years? Any exciting plans or things in the works?
Right at this moment, I am just enjoying the ride. Like, I'm so excited about what I'm doing. I'm excited about this collaboration. I can't wait to see what this blossoms into. I would love at some point, as I said, and meals are coming out of a shared kitchen. I would love to have a brick and mortar where meals are coming out of, or there could be a communal space for cooking classes or people to gather. So that is definitely a goal for the next few years.
I love it. How about for those people that are trying to meal prep at home? Do you have any tips that they could take away from the podcast today that might be helpful for them?
Yeah, I think starting off, and I'm going to let Allison piggyback, I think that when you're creating meals, so let's talk about creating, I feel like that kind of, people get stuck at the start, right? Because you're like, what do I make? And again, starting with things that are really comfortable to you, pick out a few cuisines that you really like, things that feel really comfortable, and it can be really broad. Then come into a protein, okay? So you have a cuisine, you have a protein, and then build your meal around those things that are comfortable. You can also look up ideas. That'll give you a lot of variety. And you could prep, protein for a whole week that have 3 different flavor profiles and give yourself some real variety. And I think using tools, right? Using one pot recipes, one sheet pan recipes, using tools like if you have an Instapot or an air fryer, using things that are going to help you, and maybe you don't have to keep eyes on everything. Another tip I would always recommend is get a timer, get a few timers, and set your timers so that, you don't have to eat burnt rice or burnt chicken or, you set your timers and just put them everywhere, and, so you don't have to recreate a meal as well. And
I didn't know where you were going with that at first. And I was like, timers for what? Oh, yeah. I think, this woman is a personal chef, is an incredible cook, and I thought I was okay, but apparently not. So I think I keep things a little bit simpler for patients. And I recommend this. Like, yes, start with 1 to 2 proteins. Like, determine, am I going to have 6 ounces or 8 ounces of chicken with lunch every day? Am I going to have 6 to 8 ounces of fish every day? Am I going to have 4 ounces of red meat at night? Like, what is that going to look like? Plan your proteins accordingly and make that a 1-pan cook. Like, put it in the oven, season it, make it consistent. And then every 3 days, change up your sides, change up your snacks, because it's great to plan, 2 or 3 days that are identical, and then you get in the rhythm, and then it becomes habit. We're creatures of habit. We love to do the same thing day in and day out. The only problem with eating that way for a sustained period of time is you end up with poor nutrient diversity. Like, an apple is always going to have the same nutrients. So if you're only eating apples, you're going to miss out. So I always say, like, for me, I'll do Monday through Wednesday the same. Thursday, Friday, Saturday the same, and Sunday is like grocery shopping day and just kind of have fun with it. So I have 3 days at a time that are identical, but I'm not doing this like identical meal prep all week long and potentially missing out on nutrients or damaging my gut by eating the same thing day in and day out.
Love it. So it sounds like there's obviously a lot of good things going on at Immortalata. But tell me what else is going on. Like, are there other things, other team members, like other things that you have going on?
So we haven't done the official marketing launch, but I will give you guys like the little sneak peek. So I'm really excited. So we have Katie, who will be offering the meal plans that we've been chatting about for the past 20 minutes on this podcast. Natalie, our IV and IM infusionist, is still participating with us. She's doing an amazing job. If you want to check her out, she's at Holistic Hydration. We have a full menu of IV infusions, and then we also do custom IV infusions based on lab work that you might do with me. I'm also super excited to announce we have Sandy Liberty. She is a licensed EMDR therapist. Yeah, thumbs up. She's a licensed EMDR therapist. And for those of you that don't know what EMDR is, it's a form of cognitive behavioral therapy that uses eye movement to help appropriately process memory and trauma. And the reason that I brought her onto the practice is so often when we're having difficulty making behavioral change, when we are using food, alcohol, drug as a coping mechanism, it comes back to a trauma or something that we haven't successfully emotionally processed. So we now have Sandy available to us to start processing some of those emotions. She's also capable of working with those with eating. Oh.
We got fireworks.
She's also capable of working with those with really significant eating disorders if needed. So we have this complete toolkit for people. We have the functional medicine end that really works on the biochemistry and some of the, like, I would say, complete dietary aspects, whether that's diet that you're putting in your mouth, environment, what you're listening to, mental health. We have Sandy that's really focused on the mental health. Natalie available to us to improve treatment outcomes and circumnavigate any disorders of digestion by directly putting those nutrients in the bloodstream. And Katie to build those meals if you don't have the time or if you're unsure kind of how to make them delicious, how to make them sustainable for you. So I'm really, really proud of this team. And then I can't forget Maggie. So I just hired a personal assistant, Maggie, and she is also our clinic coordinator. So she'll be in direct communication with a lot of our patients and clients. And thus far, she's done an absolutely amazing job. Lastly, I just need to give thanks to Bernie Deshays. He is who is doing all of our website, all of our marketing, and all of our design. And he has done a phenomenal job at making Immortalata look the way that it does. But I'm so, so proud of this like team of men and women that has been cultivated, that has created this practice that is frankly just like beyond my wildest dreams. We had a photo shoot last week for everybody, and I'm so excited to just like launch this. But I sat back and just looked at the team of people that were in front of me and just had a moment of like, how lucky am I to have this group of incredible people, this group of incredible female clinicians that are really making a huge difference in their community. And I just like could not be more thankful, could not be more proud.
I love it. Well, congratulations on all the success. And Katie, I'm excited that you're part of the team now too. And I look forward to seeing what you guys can do and promoting your businesses. So thanks for coming on the podcast.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thanks so much for having us, Randy. As always, you're an amazing host and an absolute pleasure to work with. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
All right, guys. Have a good day. We will talk soon.
Bye.
Yeah.